Good morning, everybody. It is in the 20s this morning, and Steve and I are here at Persimmon South, and we are cutting trail. And it's colder than we'd like, but this is the weekend we had to come down here. We participated in an Arc of Appalachia work day yesterday, working on invasive plants, killing them and making some space for the natives to recolonize. And it's always fun to work with other people working for the planet too. It was a chilly day, so I think we've been cold for several days, but thankfully we were able to stay at the Barrett's Mill House, which is a super cool place. If you are in the neighborhood and you want to hike, check it out. There's all kinds of neat lodging down here in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, the very, very early foothills. So that is our property over here. You can see Steve waving in the distance. And that's a north-facing slope. You can see, if I pan over just a little bit, where the sun is. And the forest, it has a lot of trees. You can see a lot of honeysuckle all leafed out. But what we're doing is cutting a trail this morning through this valley. Look over here. There's a stream. You can see it past the raspberry. We're going to do some stream restoration work in there. That's going to be a bigger project than the one at Persimmon North, but we have some good experience now. And here in the floodplain area, we're going to do a lot of interesting plantings, increasing the diversity, and we are going to really increase the diversity on that forested slope. We're going to put back a lot of woodland plants, which is very exciting. I'm going to turn around just to show you the difference here, because when you're thinking about some of these woodland plants, your aspect matters. And so over here, look, south facing, look how bright and brilliant. So totally different plant species will colonize those areas. And it's fun to have a mix of habitat types to work on tending and putting back together and seeing how we can help. Step one for us putting this trail in is utilizing some amazing deer trails that are already here. In some spots they go straight up and down, but a lot of these are just contoured on the land so perfectly. So we're using them, and we are cutting out the invasives that are hanging over the trail. So right down here, it's a lot of multiflora rose. And there is some blackberry and whatnot, so we'll just take that back so we can pass through here and then tend the land. We're doing it right now in March so that we are ahead of bird nesting season. We don't want to be cutting trail through here during that time period, but this will allow us some really nice access and makes it very easy. Steve's back here. Red nose, some loppers. I'm using some hand pruners, and he just freed a spice bush. So there's a lot of good plants here that we will be sculpting around over time. Step one, though, open up the path. Here's a spot Steve is sculpting. What do we mean by sculpting? Well, you can see right in here, there is multiflora rose, a very aggressive non-native rose. And then we also have spice bush right here. Pretty yellow blooms, gets fantastic fruit, loved by birds. Multiflora rose, fruits are also loved by birds. So we try to always select for native plants that play a similar role. Spice bush doesn't offer quite as many nesting opportunities, but other plants do. So sculpting is just, at this point in our trail work, it's cutting the invasives back. So cutting the multiflora back, freeing open the spice bush, taking away the competition so they get a lot more light, and then they can just thrive. And the multiflora rose won't die, but it'll just be taken back a little bit. And we learned this technique from our friend Stanley Stein. And sculpting is a cool way to make trail and to make habitat and make it beautiful. We are using this deer trail, like I said, but then we're also choosing other trails that are really interesting. So like right up here, there's multiple paths, but instead of going this way through that brush pile, we're gonna go through these trees. I'm cutting back this bush honeysuckle right here so we can just fit through there. And as we go, we will keep sculpting and freeing up beautiful natives just like that. We have two paths going through here. There's going to be one that heads up into the southern light, and then we're going to have this one that we are working on right here. Turn around. And this is heading to the north-facing slope. You can see the shade down below. And we've got tulip trees in here by the millions. There's spice bush, there's pawpaw, there's regenerating hickory, and super coolly, across the way down in the valley in that sycamore is a red-shouldered hawk nest. That seems like a perfect spot for some forest farming activities, some restoration of woodland herbs, and great for enjoyment. We're continuing on this north side of this hill here for our woodland planting, lots of spring ephemerals. And we've got some good indicator plants here. We have lots of trout lily. It's very spread out. Here, take a look. There's some really nice big patches. Look at that beauty, not flowering yet, but the leaves totally recognizable. Here's another one. And we've got cut leaf toothwort here and spring beauty. And look at that big tree amongst all these honeysuckle and bush honeysuckle, Japanese honeysuckle, multiflora rose. There's a really nice red oak back there. And behind me, Steve's been finding some of these hickories. So smaller hickories, but look, we've got lots of good bitternut and a fairly decent sized shagbark and lots of babies. And then a spice bush here, which is this shrub. And there are so many natives in here. They're just really waiting to be released from a lot of these super aggressive non-native plants. And we're so excited to release them from that pressure. So right now you can see it's a wall of green. That's mostly bush honeysuckle, but over time we will do lots of videos in here and it will be a remarkable change. Check this out. I just cut this Japanese honeysuckle. It is a vine and twines around trees very readily. Look at that. So we have plenty of trees regenerating here, but we will make sure to be snipping these. And a friend told us that they shade out pretty easily, the Japanese honeysuckle vine, so that's really encouraging. Snip them, save the trees, and then the vine can't get back high again. Check out that bottle. I wonder what this used to be for. Pretty cool. I like keeping old bottles for seed pods and all kinds of interesting things. So I think this will be the first Persimmon South bottle. Trail building went well today. Way over on the hill we got the forest herbs, the woodland plants trail, pretty well cut in as single track right now, single footpath. We're not riding bikes, but we're very excited about that. We've scouted out. We already have 2 other areas where we're going to put trails at the right time, and we'll keep you posted on how all that goes, but it's all very exciting to us. And there you get to see me. Thanks for following along, everybody. Bye.